Welcome to Massive Late Fee. And now your hosts, Mark and Carol. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me as always is my girlfriend Carol. How you doing, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. We've had a good week here at the Fee. Massive.
The Fee?
Yeah, the Fee.
Le Fee?
Yeah, La Fee.
Like Pepe Le Pew?
It's Pepe Le Pew. Yeah. What?
I don't know.
What are you doing with you're knocking our table all around and things are...
Sorry, I'm hyper.
Yeah, apparently. Trying to get your legs up and everything. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Well, you know what? We need to get, more comfortable chairs.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
You guys want to send us money. Put money in our lockers. We can buy more comfortable chairs.
And then I won't wiggle.
I'll tell you what, though. I always have a comfortable chair when I'm sitting in front of Nick at Night.
Are you?
What?
Do you?
There you go. That is the correct form of that question, yes. Yeah, Nick at Night is turning 10.
Wow. I can't believe it's been that long.
10 years, Carol.
Good for Nick at Night.
Yeah. So they're having a big old bash and a bunch of new, well, not new, but a bunch of obviously not
new old shows?
Yeah. A bunch of shows. So they're having their block party summer.
Woohoo. Maybe that's what we should start watching for the show.
In Vertivision. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is what they're doing. They're doing Munster Mondays, Lucy Tuesdays, Bewitched Wednesdays, Genie, which is the only one with a pun. I don't understand that. Genie Thursdays. Oh, I spoke too soon. And Welcome Back Fridays for Welcome Back Kotter. Yeah.
Never mind.
I figured you wouldn't like it. But they talk about the other shows that they have on the network, or not the network, but the block of programming that Nickelodeon does at night, called Nick at Night. F Troop, Route 66, The Donna Reed Show, Get Smart, one of my personal favorites, and Fernwood Tonight.
Cool.
So check it out, Nick at Night, if you want to, watch some old stuff.
You know what? I'll check it out if you can convince my mom to get cable. That would be awesome.
That's a losing battle, Carol.
It is. I'm just going to move into your house.
You should.
And then I'll have the cable.
Exactly. You'll have the cable, correct. Now you know what we call it. So that's the big news for the week, is Nick at Night turning 10. Now we'll move on.
That's the big news?
Yeah, that's the only news.
Oh, well.
Now we'll move on to the... Oh, wait. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Hugh Grant fucking torpedoed his entire career.
Aw, poor Hugh Grant.
For those of you that are not aware, I don't know who gets their news from our show, but for those of you who aren't aware...
Oh, you're sad if you do.
Hugh Grant was arrested in Los Angeles with a prostitute named Divine Brown.
That makes my heart sad.
A young black woman who was giving him the old, how do you do?
You know, he's famous. He's rich.
And
he's handsome.
And he's dating Elizabeth, what's her name? I can't think of her name. Elizabeth Hurley. He's dating Elizabeth Hurley, one of the most beautiful women besides you to ever exist.
What's wrong with him?
I don't know. So that's what I want to talk about. Yeah. Why is he visiting a prostitute?
I don't understand.
On the Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles in his car. Now, I'm wondering, does Liz Hurley just not like to give blowjobs?
Well, okay, I mean, that's a possibility.
That's the only thing I can think of.
I mean, that, or maybe he's like a sex addict and he couldn't wait till he got home. Or maybe she was off shooting for a long time somewhere and he, what?
You can't jerk off? What the fuck?
Well, I mean, obviously he's wrong no matter what. But I'm just trying to think of reasons why this incredibly handsome, famous, rich dude is going to go pay some girl for a blowjob. Like, even if he wants to cheat, go get one for free from, like,
right.
anyone.
But maybe they would talk then, and maybe he was afraid of that. Maybe he liked the discretion of prostitutes. Here's the other thing. She's black. Mm-hmm. Does he have a thing for black women?
Maybe, but then why is he with Elizabeth Hurley?
That's a good question.
I mean, it's obviously not like a fetish.
Maybe it's like the Lonely Hearts thing that we read a little bit ago. It's a plantation fantasy.
Oh God, I hope not.
But he's English, so that doesn't make a lot of sense either.
I don't know. I mean, maybe he just really wanted a blowjob and she wasn't available, and he's a bad person.
He's been a very naughty boy.
Oh, Hugh, I'm sad. It makes me sad. I don't think he's torpedoed.
What?
I don't think he has torpedoed his entire career, though. I mean, are you really gonna be like, oh, I'm never watching something with Hugh Grant again just because he made a mistake? Like, I can divorce people from their actions when it comes to that stuff.
Here's the thing. I don't care. But I'm not his target demographic either. Think about all the young women who look at him as this, oh, so cute and, like, not innocent necessarily, but he's, like, charmingly befuddled and cute and, like, wholesome. He's got this, like, he's a Bobby Soxer type thing for the modern era. He's one of these guys with, like, a squeaky clean reputation, right?
Well, not anymore, but that doesn't
That's what I'm saying.
But that doesn't change his acting ability.
It destroys his persona. It destroys his star persona.
I don't know.
Dude's not going to be a star anymore. He's done.
I don't know.
Mark my words, he's done.
He's done, son?
Career over.
We'll see. I don't think so. I mean, I'm sad, and I'm one of those girls that, like, I think that he's kind of dreamy, and I mean, no offense. I mean, you're hotter than him, but it's different. Like, he was like somebody I could look up to, almost like a father figure in that weird, cute way.
What the fuck?
Because he's like innocent.
What is going on inside your brain?
I don't know how to describe it.
You're talking about how cute he is and how, like, you had a crush on him or whatever, and then he's like a father figure.
Well, you know what I mean.
What the fuck is going on?
Ladies, you guys know what I mean, right? Like, he's like you said, it's like that white knight kind of thing.
I didn't say anything like what you're talking about.
Forget it. I'm just saying, I understand. My heart is sad too, but I don't think that he's done. That's all. And I'm going to stop there now. I wish I would have stopped about 30 seconds ago.
Okay. So, if you have, psychological damage, then I guess you're okay with this out there. For everybody else. You might be right. Maybe there are more people with psychological damage in the world than there are not.
I think so.
That's what Hugh Grant's banking on. Yeah, I have no idea what he's going to do. But this is going to take some time.
Yeah, and maybe he'll be like, I have a drug problem or something like that, and then he'll get help, and then everybody will forgive him.
Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Will Elizabeth Hurley forgive him?
Fuck no.
That's the question.
I wouldn't forgive you.
What if it was Elizabeth Hurley that I cheated on you with?
I'd need to know all the circumstances.
Wow. Well, it's good to know that there's wiggle room there.
I mean, I could forgive that more easily than going to a prostitute.
Well, yeah.
Especially if it was Elizabeth Hurley.
If we made a list.
Right.
And we were like, hey, if you ever have an opportunity with any of the people on this list, it's okay.
Oh, that's an idea. Let's make a list.
All right. You want to do it right now?
No, let's do it for next week.
Okay. Next week we'll debut our lists.
I have some news too.
Oh, do you?
I do. I'm so
excited. Is it about Brad Pitt?
No.
I'm just assuming he'd be on your list.
Oh, maybe. No, we got an email.
Oh,
we
electronic
actually have
mail.
a fan who wrote to us. Yay.
All right.
So this is from Betty, and she said,
Hi, Betty.
Hi, Betty. She says, great show.
Okay.
And then she said, "Hey, what's up?" Thanks, Betty. I love that. Hey, my name is Betty. And
we know your name, Betty. We've said it several
is she like
times
Betty
now
from
already.
Betty and Veronica? That would be so awesome. Are you blonde, Betty? Anyway, wait.
What?
Is Betty blonde?
Yes, Veronica's the one that has the dark hair.
Good. Shut up. Hey, my name is Betty, and I'm a huge
We
fan
know
of the show.
your name.
Would you let me read this?
Okay.
You freak. My husband and I have discussions like you and Mark do all the time.
Oh, well, she's married. Congratulations.
Yeah.
If your husband had sex with a prostitute, would you forgive him?
Good question. Sometimes I feel like I want to kill my Brian too. Okay, buddy, I get upset with Mark, but
You've threatened my life.
I have, but I don't really want to kill you.
Why? I'm going to give her the same benefit of the doubt.
Okay, no sharp objects, Betty.
Unless she's like Eileen Warnos, I guess.
So she says, having the show has helped their marriage. I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah, that's weird, but okay.
Yeah, but I appreciate it. She wants to know
The couple that listens to mixtapes together stays together.
right? Apparently, somehow my anger towards you helps to
Lessen her anger.
Right.
It's like catharsis.
maybe if I start beating you, it'd be even more helpful.
Wow.
She says, our question for you is, how did you two meet? And what was the first movie Mark took you to?
Okay.
Keep up the great job. Your show is the best out there by far. Aw, thank you. Your fan, Betty. I'm not going to say your last name, Betty.
Yeah,
Thank
probably
you.
a good idea. That's very, very nice. Our show
Really appreciate it.
Is the best of. We're also the only show that exists. So
Maybe there are other tapes out there. Maybe people are copying our idea.
you think that there
Are you listening to other tapes, Betty? You got to let us know.
Yeah, let us know if you're listening to if other tapes are circulating around the globe.
We must obtain them.
We're keeping Memorex in business by
Right.
ourselves because
So,
everyone's moved to CDs now.
so we met at Ramshorn
We did.
because our friend set us up.
Yep. Our friend was like, "Okay, I'll play Cupid," and that "Okay Cupid"
Right.
set us up.
Yep. And when I got to Ramshorn, he was there waiting, and he was on the phone, on the payphone, talking to his mom for so long. I almost left.
There was an emergency.
There was not an emergency.
It was an important phone conversation.
You don't keep a lady waiting, but I mean,
Whatever.
just saying. What was the first movie you took me to? I don't remember.
I think the first movie that we saw was Terminator Deuce.
Oh yeah, Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Cool. That was a good one.
It was a very good movie.
I'll be back.
He does say that. Yes. Yep. Good one. No, that's a very good movie. Good dates, Arm around a girl, nice action movie.
It was good.
Could it be any better than that?
Popcorn.
Yep.
All about the
Mostly for
popcorn.
you, because I don't like popcorn that much.
Well, and I don't share popcorn because I put too much butter on my popcorn. I think it would literally make anyone else throw up.
Besides popcorn, what is your favorite movie snack?
Well, I really love to combine dots with popcorn.
Oh, weird.
Other than that, I mean, that's it. Really, I used to like to get those. What do they call them for like kids? The little thing with the popcorn and the candy. And
Movie meals?
yeah, I used to like those.
Yeah. I almost murdered a friend for getting a movie meal once.
Oh, tell us about it. I want to hear about it.
Our friend Matt decided to get a movie meal at the Dollar Show. And we made fun of him relentlessly because of how dumb we thought it was. He just kept saying, what a great deal it was. So he had to go to the bathroom. While I was in the bathroom, I was pitching pennies over by his this little popcorn thing.
That's terrible.
And one got in there and he almost choked on it.
Mark,
When he was eating the popcorn later.
what a dick.
And then we just made fun of him some more.
Your poor friend.
So that's what you get for eating a
Terrible
movie
friends.
meal.
I guess you're not friends anymore. I've never met this dude. Good for him. Have some self-respect.
Whatever. Anyway. Yeah, I'm not a big... I like... Again, you didn't ask me. My preferred snack.
I'm sorry. Am I supposed to, like, just repeat everything you say?
No, you're supposed to answer, and then you're supposed to say, hey, what about you?
Oh, that's assuming I care.
Okay, fine.
I'm kidding. What's your favorite movie snack?
Can you guess?
I think it's Whoppers.
Milk Duds.
Damn, I almost said Milk Duds. I knew it was one of the two.
I like Whoppers maybe better outside of the movies, weirdly.
Okay.
But for the movies, like I love to have Milk Duds.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They are delicious.
It's a good movie snack.
That might be my second favorite movie snack.
No, I thought you said Dots was.
After Dots and popcorn combined.
Oh, so you're third.
Because, like, I wouldn't want Dots if I didn't also have popcorn.
Oh, okay.
Has to be combined.
Interesting.
Because then it's like you get too thirsty.
What?
Don't you get thirsty when you eat something that's just pure sugar?
No, I don't. I think that's a problem that you should probably look into.
Really?
Yeah, it sounds like diabetes.
Oh, no.
You should check that out.
I will check that out.
That's not normal. Salty stuff, sure, maybe. You could make you thirsty. Salt dries you out, but not sugar. And that's the thing too. Like even if you did have diabetes, you're combining two things that would then make you thirsty. I don't know how it makes you so thirsty it goes around the rim and then you're not thirsty anymore.
I don't know. I guess so. It's just like why I can't chew gum. Chewing gum makes me.
What?
The look on your face. Chewing gum makes me thirsty too.
Wow. Okay.
It does. I don't know. I'm a freak. Whatever. Anyways, speaking of movies.
Yeah.
I took him to the movies this time.
It's a great segue. Speaking of movies.
We were speaking of movies.
You could use it for anything. Speaking of movies, here's a movie. Speaking of movies, this isn't a movie.
We had enough time for like double snacks at this movie.
Oh my god.
It was good.
I forgot what we saw for a second.
It was very, very good, and I loved it very much.
Okay.
I know you did not.
I'm not saying I didn't like the movie.
We went and saw Braveheart with Mel Gibson.
Braveheart!
Wow, that hurt my ears, and I apologize to anybody else out there listening to these. Ow.
They may take our lives, but they will never take our freedom! Or I like, love you, always have.
Yep. I liked that.
Yeah, that's a fine line. Oh, speaking of a fine line, there's a fine line between historical accuracy and an entertaining movie.
Yeah.
So, let's talk generally.
Okay.
I don't know if we're even gonna... We usually will go kind of like through the plot and everything. I don't even know if we're going to do that necessarily. I say we can kind of go through the movie chronologically, sort of, but just bring up parts that we liked or didn't like or that highlight how we feel about it.
Sure.
So, for those of you that don't know, this is about William Wallace, who was one of the freedom fighters for Scotland before Scotland gained its independence, which it no longer has. And, well, later... So what happened was, later... This is not in the movie, but later, one of the kings of Scotland became the King of England, basically. Mm-hmm. The line of succession went to him. I can't remember who it was. Is it James the First? Oh, history people out there, look it up. The more, not ancient, but the history of European history and Scottish history, not my strong suit as far as history goes.
Definitely not my strong suit. Any kind of history, really. So
I think it's James, but I'm not sure. But anyway, he was King of Scotland, and he also became King of England. And that started like a reunification of England and Scotland into one thing in a non like, military way, not in a nasty way or anything like that. And they're still, connected that way to this day.
Well, I mean, since it happened in a non-military way, maybe it's not a bad thing.
No, I think it's fine. I think it's their reunification. I think is fine.
I think it's very different than what was going on in this movie and why they wanted their freedom and stuff. So.
Absolutely, yeah. So this movie is, like I said, about William Wallace, who was one of the freedom fighters for Scottish freedom, and sound like a shotgun turning that light on.
I'm sorry, guys. It's dark in here.
Yeah, it's getting dark. Anyway, so he, it's but mostly about his life and what he went through, why he fought, and all this stuff.
Right.
There's a lot of historical inaccuracies in the movie.
Yes.
Which I think you have. You kind of.
I did just a tiny bit of research about it. Yeah.
Got the Encyclopedia Britannica and
just
everything.
a little bit.
So Carol can fill us in on some of that a little bit later. But generally, I thought the movie was good. Or, it's fine. Mm-hmm. It's not a bad movie. It's well filmed. It's obviously it's an epic. There's a lot of, as far as a directing point of view goes, a lot of staging that has to go on. I liked the fact they used a lot of real locations. There's not very much in the way of special effects.
Right.
Most of all this stuff is very practical. Any kind of effects they needed to do, whether it was, gunfire, arrows, or anything like that, is all kind of practically done, which is nice. And like I said, it's a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
So very well. Mel Gibson also directed this movie, so very well directed.
Well done.
Yeah, very well directed, very well kind of crafted from a movie perspective. I don't think this movie earns its length. This movie is over 3 hours long. I think it clocks in right around 3:15 or so.
Yeah, something like that.
And it's too long. The movie's too long. It gets boring. The movie has some very bad, in my opinion, pacing issues. It doesn't really have any kind of structural issues. It's a pretty traditional 3-act structure to the movie, and the structure of it's fine, but I think the pacing is not great.
When were you bored? When did this boring time occur?
So it starts off fairly well, where he and his father and his brother go to this meeting that was supposed to be held by King Edward the Longshanks, Edward the First of England, one of the more reportedly brutal and asshole-ish kings. And he's slaughtered all of them. He's hanged all of them, all these nobles and everything that had this courage to fight against English rule. So he, gets traumatized by that. His brother and his dad go off to fight, and they end up getting killed.
Yeah.
Which didn't happen, by the way, right?
No.
And then he gets sent off with, what's his name?
His uncle. I don't remember the name, but...
Yeah, it's Brendan Gleeson plays him. And he gets sent off there to Brendan Gleeson's, who kind of... We get the idea that he, it's said outright that he's taken him to Rome and to Egypt and other places of the day, Greece and stuff like that. So he's traveled around, he's seen things, he's learned about military tactics. It's emphasized very clearly by both his dad before he died and his uncle that the mind is the most important thing.
Right.
That he needs to learn and expand his mind, and that's more important than brutal type stuff. And that's what he does. He kind of, expands his point of view and everything. There's this little girl, when his parents die, they give him a flower. And apparently he falls in love with her at that moment. I don't know.
I mean, I guess, because he carries it with him forever.
Yeah, and then loves her for the rest of his life.
How old do you think he was supposed to be when the movie started? Like 8, 10?
Oh, I would say probably 10 or 11.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess that's the right age to kind of start liking girls.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine for him to start liking this girl, but to carry this torch when he hasn't seen her in years and years and years seems so weird.
And he's traveled the whole world. And,
yeah,
had all these experiences, and
it just seems weird.
Yeah,
and
she's
as far from a movie perspective, she's a completely different character. She's a little girl. We don't really know much about her. When we meet her again as an adult woman, she's a new character.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any of her experiences. We don't know any about her story arc. We're meeting her fresh, basically.
And I mean, we can make an assumption that they had a relationship before his family got killed, before she gave him the flower. Like,
maybe.
I mean, that
friendship at least.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That then, allowed him to have those feelings for her and have an idea of her. I mean, it can't be like she gave him a flower at the funeral and then he fell in love with her and that's it to their story. There has to be more.
Yeah. I realized I messed up. His uncle's played by Brian Cox.
Okay.
His uncle's played by Brian Cox. His buddy is played by Brendan Gleeson. Now, and that's the thing. That's what made me think of it. Yeah, we don't see that. But if they wanted to establish that, they should have shown us that.
But that would make it even longer.
Because they do. But there's way other stuff that you cut out of this. They do show it with his buddy.
Yeah, that's true.
The guy that becomes the guy that becomes Brendan Gleeson. They show him, them as friends.
That's
true.
And
they kind of establish that relationship so that when he comes back as an adult, they kind of rekindle their relationship. And he says he wants to court this woman and everything. Prima Nocta's been taken over, which is also apparently a thing that didn't happen, I guess.
Not sure.
At the time.
It's possibly not occurring at that time.
But it's the right of a noble to have sex with the bride on the first night of their marriage.
That's so terrible. Like, that would just be so traumatizing.
To, christen them or something like that.
It makes me want to puke. Like, I can't even imagine.
It's fucked up. But, so the pacing issues of the movie. This is the problem that I have with the movie.
Okay.
Movie opens up fine. We establish Mel Gibson's William Wallace. We establish him as a character. We establish what he's gone through, what has made him grow into the person that we're seeing right now. Then we kind of get an idea of the character he is now. We establish the love interest. He wants to be with her and all this stuff. They marry in secret so that she doesn't have to have sex with the noble. We establish early on that the noble is doing this, and we see the bride that has to go with him, and we see the husband who's pissed off about it, and then that pays off later. That guy gets his comeuppance.
Yeah.
Everything pays off. That's great. She gets attempted to be raped by one of the guys. He fights off the English people that are living in their town with them. He fights them off and frees her so she doesn't have to get raped. Says, meet me at the Grove. Doesn't go with her. I don't know exactly why they separated, but
I think he thought they would come after him.
I guess, yeah.
But instead, they went back to what they were doing. I mean, it was a really poor choice.
Yeah. So they kill her. They kill her because,
the Lord kills her. The noble kills her. Not those were his soldiers that were harassing her.
Yeah, he says, "Hey, I've been nice to you guys. This is how you repay me. You fucking hurt my men and stuff like that."
She bit the guy's face because he was trying to rape her. Good for her.
Yeah.
Except not, because it gets her killed.
Yeah, so she gets her throat slashed and killed, which obviously pisses off Mel Gibson, William Wallace. So he comes in and he murders all of them, and this is when he decides he's going to be a freedom fighter. All this is good. Then we go into him trying to convince the other people to fight with him. And then we get the main struggle of this. Robert the Bruce and the other people, the other nobles, they don't want to fight with him. They're divided. It's the whole reason that their kingdom fell in the first place.
Because of the clans.
Because of the clans, and they couldn't figure out who was supposed to be the true ruler, and they warred amongst themselves, and England opportunistically came in and took over. So we get that backstory, we get that established, we establish those characters, Angus McFadden as Robert the Bruce, and his fucking dad who's dying of some weird disease, leprosy or something, I don't know.
Something that looks like there's fucking mushrooms growing on his skin or something.
Yeah, it's terrible. And he's a terrible person.
Very bad person.
But anyway, so, we get all that established, and that's fine too. Then we have the first battle where he wins. Great. Then we have some scenes where he's being a guerrilla type warrior where he's tricking English soldiers into getting killed and stuff like that, and he's winning battles. We get that. Good. Then start the politics stuff. Robert the Bruce talking with the dad all the time, like 4 different conversations, and all the betrayals that didn't even happen in the historical account of it. But it's like, oh, we're going to help you out here. Oh, we betrayed you. 20 minutes more passes in the movie. Oh, we'll help you out here. Oh, we betrayed you again. It's like, it happens like 3 times in the movie, the same thing, where they're going to be like, oh, we're going to help you. Oh, no, we're not going to help you.
It was 3 people, not 3 different times.
We got paid off. No, it happened more than once. Then they bring him to the thing where he gets captured by the English, and that's a betrayal that he falls into.
True.
It happens several times.
Okay.
And they have several, and like every scene with Angus McFadden as Robert the Bruce talking to his dad is the exact same scene.
Yeah.
It's always him saying, I want to be like him. I want to lead these people. I wish I had his fire. Oh, yeah, you do. But we need England. We need England on our side. I mean, I paraphrased there's like 5 scenes of them together, long scenes. I paraphrased every single scene. We only need that scene once.
Yeah.
We need one scene establishing the dad wants to stay with the nobles and Robert the Bruce doesn't. Robert the Bruce wants to be like William Wallace, but his dad's holding him back. We only need to see that scene one time.
I guess.
And then there's a couple scenes, 2 different scenes, of all the nobles arguing and talking to each other and stuff like that also lasts a long time. We only need one of those scenes.
The one where the blood's dripping down from the ceiling? Because that was pretty good.
Right. Yeah, there are good scenes in this movie. There are good things about this movie, but this movie could have been made more effective at about 2.5 hours. Or so. 2.5 hours, maybe 2:40. There's a good half an hour to 40 minutes that could be cut out of this movie, and it would be better for it. That's the thing. I don't mind movies that are long if they need to be long, but it would be better for it.
Okay.
And this movie drags in the middle. It drags in the beginning. The beginning like hour is good. The last like half hour is good. The middle of the movie, like the 2 hours or whatever in the middle drags. It's sporadically interesting. It's sporadically good. So like
there's a lot of battles in there.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like things will come up and start happening, and then it's like, oh, nice, okay, like something's actually happening now. This is good. And then we get to more boring talking scenes. And it's not like I don't like slow moving movies. It's not like I don't like dialogue scenes or anything like that. It's just like I said. It's over and over again. It's like, yeah, you already said it. We get it. One dude from Ireland comes into this movie who talks directly to God, at least in his own mind,
right?
Who's hilarious, and the movie would die without him. This guy, I can't remember the name of the actor that plays him or his character's name. He's the Irish guy.
Yeah.
But this movie needs this character. It's the linchpin that this movie falls or dies on him because he's funny, irreverent, and completely different. And it's one of the only things that makes some of those transition scenes interesting at all.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I agree. I like that character a lot, but I don't think that he made or break, would make or break the whole thing.
Without him, the middle of the movie is unbearable to watch, in my opinion.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. But yeah, so I mean that's my problems with the movie. The acting's excellent. Like I said, the directing is staged very well. I have some problems with the pacing of it. The length of it is an issue. But structurally and everything else is fine. Cinematography is gorgeous. It's fantastic. Everything else from a technical point of view is good about the movie. I could have done with a little less historical inaccuracies, but that's not for me to say, basically. But I mean, what did you think of the movie overall? Give me your, what are its strengths? What do you think?
Well, I overall I like the movie, like I said. As far as the strengths, I think the acting is really good. Mm-hmm. And like we didn't talk yet at all about about Isabella.
Yeah, Isabella. Queen Isabella.
Well, she was princess in this movie.
Yeah, but eventually she becomes queen.
She's married to the prince in England,
Edward II.
and apparently he's gay. I don't know if that was true or not.
Who knows? I have no clue. But yeah, it's never said outright, but it's heavily implicated.
All of the stuff, also occurred in the middle of the movie, which you're saying, is terrible, which I thought this stuff was pretty interesting. With her coming to meet with William Wallace because they're fucking cowards, and they sent her because they're afraid that he would kill them if they tried to talk to him.
Which he probably would.
And, she makes a deal with him and then finds out that he's being betrayed, like you said. And she sends people to warn him because she likes him so much.
That also happens twice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But she ends up sleeping with him, which, I get that her husband won't sleep with her, but and they did a lot of looks or whatever, but maybe it's just supposed to be that time period, but it just seems kind of weird. They're just out of nowhere, be like, okay, we're going to have sex and never see each other again.
Yeah.
And then she acts like she loves him or something. It's like, you don't love him.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that whole storyline to me just rang completely false, which it is historically.
Yeah, they never met.
But it's just like you said, that's another part of the movie that didn't really work for me. The love story between him and the girl from his past
that he marries,
was not satisfactorily fleshed out to me. But at least it worked. I got it. They came from the same village. They knew each other in their youth. He pined for her or whatever. She represents this time period in his life when he had a family and everything. I got it.
And he came back because he wanted that. He wanted to farm and have that life.
And I got the subtext of all that, right? The stuff with Isabella didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
And it kind of undercuts what a good strategist he was too, because he was very good at not falling into traps in real life.
That's true.
Because he was good at it, not because she was like she was tipping him off or anything. Not like he had a mole in the kingdom. But yeah, so that part didn't really work 100% for me because of the whole. They don't establish a relationship, really. She swoons over hearing that he's doing this to honor his lost love or to avenge his lost love or whatever. And that's, romantic to her. But then, like I said to you before, I was like, he's basically the 1300s equivalent, the 14th century equivalent of a dude on a motorcycle.
Right.
Because, that's how he acts. He rolls up, and that's how he acts, right? Because he's the bad guy, and that's what she's attracted to. But it doesn't super work for me.
It seems weird, too, that, her motivation for wanting to be with him is that he is avenging his lost love. Because, obviously, his heart's not available.
But his cock is.
Well, apparently.
Because, they do have sex.
Yeah.
And she claims that she's carrying his progeny.
Which, obviously not true.
Right. So.
She had kids, though, right?
She did, yeah.
So, if her husband was gay, she had to get him somewhere.
Yeah, if that's true. Like I said, I don't even know if that's true or not. But I don't know a whole lot about Edward II from that era. Jeez. Very long ago. 14th century.
Well, get on learning your European history, Mark.
Okay. Well, I can do European history from maybe the 1700s. Not that I'm great at it, but I could tell you with a lot more accuracy through that period. But the period before Henry VIII in the 1500s, I usually don't go back that far. Anyway, so that part didn't super work for me in the movie either. And then, like I said, that there are some really good scenes with the kingdom and what's going on with the kingdom and the son and the dad and Isabella and how they all relate to each other. And I think a better way to pace this movie, and maybe a better way to structure this movie, maybe it is a bit of, it's not really a structure thing though, because it's still 3 acts. But I think a better way to pace this movie would have been show all the stuff with him kind of like coming to be, right? Mm-hmm. And then and the first battle and everything. Then go to them and spend most of the rest of that part of the movie with them and see the son, Isabella, and the king and really get to know them and what they're like. And don't even worry about the other stuff that happens. Maybe every once in a while kind of flash to, William Wallace recruiting some other people and stuff. But make him a legend in the movie. Mm-hmm. Like he was in real life, where they're just hearing about all these things. We don't have to see all of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We can see their relationship and where they fit into this story, and then kind of hear about like this almost like mythical, like he's attacked this. He's got like the latest regiment of troops has been killed by or captured by him or whatever. Right? They've taken over the entire thing and stuff, and then you can see the Siege of York. Then we can like show the Siege of York and have him take it over, and then that can be the beginning of the third act where these two forces we see and have established William Wallace. We see and established the royal family. These two entities that are at odds with each other. Then we can see them combine. We can see them together.
It was funny the way that they let us know that he is such a mythical being, though, with us being there the whole time when they're going into battle. And somebody's like, he said he's William Wallace, and somebody's like, no, you're not. He's 7 feet tall.
Right.
And, like all this stuff. And he's like, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It would have been more interesting to really get to know him than really get to know them and then see them all together. Like kind of converging, their paths all kind of converging.
That could have been good.
And I think, it would have been more focused. And I think, because that's the thing, in a movie, every scene should have a purpose. There's a lot of scenes that don't have purpose in this movie, to me. Or they have a purpose that's already being fulfilled by other scenes in the movie.
Right.
And so Mel Gibson, excellent job acting in the movie, excellent job directing in the movie. You need to learn how to edit better. Because I think that's to me the biggest failing of the movie is the editing. Okay. It's not a well-edited film.
What did you think about the end of the movie?
Well, the end of the movie is, obviously it's emotional and kind of brutal. It brings to mind Christ. I mean, that's one of the first. Really? Well, it's one of the first things that I thought of when it was in there, because it's a person being wrongfully persecuted, wrongfully tortured, and I don't know. It just made me think of that. And at one point, he gets quartered, or not quartered, but he gets drawn, and he's in that kind of, crucifix type pose.
Yeah. He does get quartered.
And they nail him to a cross or something at some point, like a wooden cross. It's not upright. It's it's a table, but there are slats for his arms that go off. It resembles a cross.
They tied him. I didn't nail him.
No, they didn't nail him.
Right. You said they nailed him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant tied him. But they tie him to a cross-like table. Here,
the one thing I did find in my research was that they actually toned down what happened to him.
It's crazy.
I know. I mean, they kind of alluded to some of it, but they didn't really say what was happening. Mm-hmm. When he was all tied down like that, and then, you see they're kind of going down his body. They castrated him, and then they filleted him. They opened him up, and then they quartered him.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Crazy. Very brutal. I'll tell you, those times were very, very, very brutal.
Yeah, and like when Isabella snuck in to see him in the jail and tried to give him something for pay. First of all, I don't think that was going to do shit.
No. Not if someone's going to castrate you and fillet you.
Yeah.
Really not. There's not... couple of aspirin's not going to take the edge off.
Right.
That.
I mean, I don't know what kind of pain medicine they had back then, but yeah.
It's laudanum or something.
And he spit it out. Like, what a stubborn dick. I'm sorry. I mean, I guess I get it. Like, he didn't want to lose his wits, he says, but...
Like I said, if you really wanted to be charitable, bring him poison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she should have just killed him. Yeah. Saved him from it.
Take this and die, because they're going to kill you anyway.
And it's going to be a horror show.
And this way, you don't have to, you don't have to be forced to beg or whatever, because that was the whole thing. Is he didn't want to assent to being a subject of the king,
right? Which, at least in the movie, who knows about real life, he did not.
Yeah, they were pretty respectful about that stuff, where they didn't, you could hear like sloshing sounds as they've got this like scythe, but you don't see anything. They focus on his face, and the pain on his face and all this stuff. And even the guy that's in charge of the torture is like, come on, just just say,
let it be done now.
Say you want to beg for mercy, right? Like.
And then even the crowd saying mercy, like everybody wants it to stop. Nobody wants to. Even those bloodthirsty assholes back then, who this was entertainment for, wanted it to be done.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine taking my 3-year-olds to watch this torture.
Yeah, he's like making eye contact with this kid on his dad's shoulders.
Yeah, holy shit.
Ugh.
But anyway, so then they kill him.
Yeah,
and that's the end of the movie.
And then they sent his limbs to the four corners of England or Scotland. England or Scotland?
I think the four corners of, yes, England. His head goes on the pike. Mm-hmm. And I guess, the four corners of Scotland, I guess.
Yeah. To remind people what would happen to them. Yeah. And
then they fucking rebelled anyway. They're like, fuck you.
Right.
And Robert the Bruce let him, he threw off his dad. And all that stuff was great, and had some emotional fulfillment.
I cried,
but you cried when he was getting tortured.
Yeah,
which is that part of the movie's fine. You leave that in. That part was good. But I mean, with all the Robert the Bruce stuff and everything, it's like, okay, cool, yay. He did it. He followed in his footsteps, kind of thing. But it's like I didn't really care that much. Because I didn't really care about that character that much.
I felt almost embarrassed for the character when he's like, you fought with him, now fight with me. Like, would you just be your own person?
Right, seriously. It was fucked up. But that's why I think it would have been better the other way.
Yeah.
And then he gets killed. And you could even show a couple scenes or scene or two of Robert the Bruce kind of in the background. Then you don't have to go in the whole, he betrayed him thing, which is something that didn't happen in real life.
And then they used him to betray him at the end.
That kind of slanders the name of Robert the Bruce, too, who didn't actually betray William Wallace.
Right? That's true.
Yeah. So, the whole thing, like I said, I think it would have been better structured the way I was saying. Yeah. You've got your protagonist that you meet and get to know. You meet your antagonists. And the complicated nature, because a lot of that stuff was good. They were good actors, and a lot of that stuff was good. Edward I was obviously a piece of shit. Edward II had his own complications going on that we barely even touched on. And then Isabella had her own stuff going on that we also barely even touched on. I'm more with them as the antagonists and the different, kind of ideas going on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We could even, if you want to, go a little bit off the actual history, if you wanted to, she admired him from afar or whatever. She admired what he was doing for love that she couldn't feel because she was in a loveless marriage because of this guy, right?
Yeah.
And she sent an envoy to kind of be like, hey, to help him out, to say to give him information or something like that. That way we have a connection between the two worlds. And we can show a couple scenes of Wallace and his continuing rebellion and stuff like that, and then it makes sense. Structured a little bit like that, show that, the connection and everything, and then they come together. And like I said, to me, that makes more sense. You can make a more focused, shorter movie that way. There was a lot of meandering around in this movie. Too much for me.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
I'll give that to you. I still really liked it.
It was a good movie. It wasn't bad. Even as it stands, it was a good movie, but it's far from perfect. It had problems.
Right. Okay.
That's how I feel about it. But that is the episode for the day. We've talked ourselves out.
Yes.
So, Carol, do your thing.
So, if you want to, be like Betty,
You want to be like Betty.
You do. You want us to read your stuff. Send it to latefee1994@aol.com.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure to tell your friends and give us the likes and give us the stars.
All right. Sounds good. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.